You could throw on some pit vipers or something. I don't know.
Honestly, that's not a bad idea, is it? Let's do that.
Yeah.
I have them right here. Vietnamese. All right, there we go. It's pretty hard to look at the.
Is it? Isn't
Yeah.
is it hard?
It's pretty hard to.
It's
Like, have I ever been negative on a movie on this podcast? Can you think
with
of one?
us, I don't think so.
Hmm.
I don't want to just come out and say that I didn't like this movie 'cause that's not true. But
This movie started off pretty strong,
I agree with that.
but by the end, it was a little bit like, this is what they're gonna do.
I also Sam Perry specifically requested this podcast, and because he went to see this movie literally a half dozen times in theaters. And
I think
I don't know how many
You know
movies
what?
you watched, Steven, but I watched all 3 Tron movies and 10 episodes of the Disney show for Sam.
no. I think Walt Disney Corporation needs to reward Sam with a day pass to Disneyland, or Disney World. I think that's warranted for the amount of positive press we're about to give Tron Ares.
Dude, I'm trying to lead by example. I'm gonna make sure there's a fourth Tron installment. I don't care how many times I need to go to AMC.
I think, speaking of AMC, I think Zac Efron and Nicole Kidman, A Family Affair, might be the worst movie that we've done on this podcast. And that
was a pretty tough one.
So
That was a pretty tough one.
how did we even, that's crazy that we even did that. But yeah, I'm sorry. So maybe Tron beats A Family Affair, but I wasn't into Tron before this. I'd never seen any of them. I'd seen them, but I'd never heard anything good about them. I thought the original one needed some work, but conceptually it was cool. I liked the scenes in the arcades. I think all 3 of these movies could have been really good. And honestly, Tron Legacy, I kind of liked it. I thought that one was the best one.
I think Tron Legacy is highly underrated after rewatching it.
So I think I was pretty into that. And then the Disney show, it was decent.
Greetings, programs. It's Tron in time.
Hell yeah.
You were talking about Tron.
Like, the light bikes are fun. You got all this shit on the grid. All the AI stuff is getting play in our culture. Well, when it's not executed well, yeah, it seems lazy. Like Dune, resonates with people because of some of the AI connections right now. This had the chance to do that. And let's go back to the original. He lived in the floppy disk era. Jeff Bridges lived in the floppy disk era. They show the swindler saint, this guy's Elon Musk. Is he a swindler or a saint? And then we get the big board meeting and crash out system back into it in front of all the shareholders. They go back to that again in this movie. And they show the Tron world, and it's so much cooler than Tron Legacy. It looks sick. And I'm like, holy shit, they're going to show us all these different levels into the Tron world. And then they just left. They just left the sick ass place with all the gadgets
all
and
the stuff
all the cool shit.
Wow.
And not to skip too far ahead, we'll come back to the beginning, but Jared Leto's got 29 minutes left in his life, and we spent 15 of them riding around on a Honda Civic.
Oh, yeah.
Classic.
What the is going on?
Dude, the other ones are all about going into the grid. This one is about going
Leaving
into the real
the grid.
world.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you. But this movie was an hour and 52 minutes. We could have had less time in the Honda Civic, and we could have had a few more minutes in the world of Tron. We get the EDM light show building an amphibious tank, and the super soldier walks out of it. And then we just go away from that.
Yeah, they did such a good job of bringing people out of the grid and into the real world, and on their little doomsday. And even the time we spend on the grid is lame as hell. We get to the retro grid, and it's empty. There's nothing there. They're just walking around I'm here. There's nothing on the floppy disk.
Great point, Stephen, because I gave him a big pass on how empty the grid was in the 70s. That was a long time ago. This is groundbreaking stuff.
Yeah.
And Leto goes to it in this movie, and I'm like, hell yeah, we're in the retro world. They're going to show some cool ass shit. And then just nothing happened.
They showed nothing. And they even
Sponsor me.
leaned into it by literally all the actions were on a grid. Right turns. Everything was right turns, which I guess looked kind of cool. But the thing that annoyed me the most about the movie is, did you get the feeling that Jeff Bridges and Jared Leto weren't on the same place in the same day
Oh, you
for
thought like they
their.
were filmed separately?
Yes, I am I'm 95% sure that Jared Leto and Jeff Bridges were filmed separately. And you had Jeff Bridges for like a day. He's in like 15 minutes of the movie and all he does is talk. You couldn't get him on set for a day. So they didn't have to film each thing separately for the entire time. Use a Jeff Bridges body double. Like that was what really tanked the movie for me at the end. Was I was like, this scene is worthless. Get out of it. Get me out of this stupid scene and back to
I
whatever it
can.
was.
You probably are not incorrect. I bet there is some body double work going on, but I know they interacted a little bit because I saw something that said apparently Jared Leto is infamous for being a method actor. So he was in character this whole movie as
Oh,
ARES, a method actor. I liked it because it's not actually supposed to be him. I don't know how they describe it. He's like, I'm a reflection of your presence.
I'm
So
here
he's kind of
because
like a
you're
copy.
here. I'm here because you're here, man. I get it. You can't just bring him back to life. It negates the end of Legacy. They're doing the whole Qui-Gon Jinn thing. He's here, but he's not here. But like,
Mhm.
greetings, man. You got to get out there and fight the light bikes, man. We need 2 scenes with this man. All right, they can't afford 2 scenes.
That we can only get one. We can only get him walking around with his big robe. Just, no, this is what I do. This is my life now. I live on the grid. Please come visit me, Jared Leto.
Honestly,
Who
honestly, how old is Jeff Bridges? I'm about to look this up.
Dude,
How old
probably
is he?
like
well,
68, mid 60s,
but
It's
he's a
got to be
fucking
more than that. I
star
feel
now.
75.
75. Maybe
Born in
that's why we couldn't get him on set.
He's born in the 40s.
And how about Caius? This man,
That was such a waste. That was such a waste, dude. Why did they?
you pay
If
for the
anything,
shameless guy and you kill him off in one scene.
he's not just the shameless guy. He's a Star Wars guy too. The video
The
game.
shameless guy. This
Oh,
is a
God,
face
he's
that
the
I have
shameless
not
guy.
seen.
Look at him.
This is a
You know,
face.
That's a flesh wound.
tis a flesh wound. But nah, he's in. Who does he play in the Star Wars? What Star Wars game is he in?
Who is this guy? That's what I was going to say. When did he pop up? When did he die?
Fuck, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Who cares?
Whose face is?
He's on the. I look at the cast list as the movie comes on. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm gonna call out some shit from Shameless.
I'm
And then
very surprised that you don't know him. You don't know him as Star Wars guy too, though.
well, Disney ruined Star Wars, Sam. So I do my best
It's
not
a
to talk about it.
Disney and Star Wars. That's a big factor with this. We'll get to that later, though. If you check out the video games, he's in 2 different video games where they use his face and he does all the camera work and
Oh,
everything.
wait a minute. You're saying he's the.
A different one.
Honestly, I forgot that, and those are great games. Actually, I fully support those, and that's why we don't. This isn't the Star Wars podcast, but I'll tell you something I did like in this movie: the big Wizard of Oz guy calling the shots. Check
Yeah.
this motherfucker out.
No, he was cool.
Well, it was a cool callback too, because you saw the original one, right?
Yeah,
The original one did not look that good, but I mean, for that time period, I think it was cutting edge.
first, I didn't think about this until afterwards. But did he have a response to finally seeing the Wizard of Oz once he comes into the real world?
No, he was kind of weird.
No, he didn't.
You know what he's?
I don't think it really registered for him that the omnipotent voice is just like Quicksilver or the guy from American Horror Story. I don't think he
Well,
was
he
like, you're
says-
just some dude.
Yeah, it's weird because he says it's a pleasure to meet my creator's creator, talking to his mom right before he de-reses or times out. But then a little later on, he's like back in the grid. Yeah, look at that motherfucker.
This
Look
is
at
cool
that guy.
though. That's dope.
That's cutting edge for the time period.
Yeah.
You got to think the original Tron came out and no one had a computer. Like no one had a smart. There's no, like this was all just in their minds. So
Yeah. It's sick.
it's pretty yeah, and I think Tron in general has really informed how things have evolved throughout the years, because I look at cars nowadays, you see cars on the road, I feel like a good amount of them are inspired from the aesthetic we see in Legacy with the way that their tail lights look. Why are you hating on me?
I honestly think for Teslas that kind of holds true. Like,
I think Tesla has a very big Tron vibe.
Tesla came out before Tron? How is Legacy inspiring Tesla? They might have been inspired by Tesla.
If you look at most taillights, they have that They have that very thin, like red line that stretches across now, or like a thin, like LED light that goes across the front instead of headlights. Very, very Tron coded, in my opinion.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Tron did not inspire all this stuff, but I think that's a lovely take for you. Now, we didn't get any cool like music shit in here, did we?
I
What do you
think
mean? This
I
movie?
actually really liked the score for the
Nine
entire
Inch
movie.
Nails?
That
Dude.
was a pretty big plus for me, was the composed Nine Inch Nails songs. It kind of kept me locked in,
At what point?
especially when the movie got kind of bad at the end.
At what point was that song?
Dude, Nine
The
Inch
one we
Nails did
played
the
at the
whole
beginning.
soundtrack.
It was right at the
Okay.
beginning.
I
It was
just-
the whole thing.
Okay,
Yeah, they did the whole thing.
The only time that I noticed the music was when
Yeah, I'm about to.
they went in. I thought this part was sick when they got the little underwater snowmobile. We also barely saw any disc work in this, and it's interesting because I wasn't that into the disc slinging in the other movies. I liked it in spite of that, but
Yeah.
Jared Leto finally pulls out his disc, and it's a triangle, and it's got prongs, and he drops it on the floor and disintegrates the floor, and then he one-shots the tank. We'll get to that later with the disc, but once he falls through the floor, what's the Asian girl's name?
He's biblically strong.
What's that connection?
They literally say whenever he steps out, they do that little unveiling thing. They say that he's biblically strong, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
But
yes.
So why?
Yes.
That's a weird thing to mix with the Greek god names. What were they doing with it? Athena and Ares?
I think it's just a cool name, really. Just
It's
like
not
God of War.
Ares, it's Ares.
Being like he's. Were you watching this movie or
Ares.
not?
Looks like an Ares, man. He acts like an Ares.
It's Ares.
He could have been Ares. Could have been Ares,
Just
but there wasn't enough fighting. He's Ares. Anyway,
Just circle back. Hey, wait. I just remembered something. Just circle back to whenever Jeff Bridges and him were on set together. He was like, I am not digging this method acting shit. I'm not calling him Ares. And they were like, he's Ares. You had to call him that. And he was like, I'm not doing it. He made a compromise. He was like, I'm going to call him Air. So he kind of like, just imagine Jeff Bridges acting like the dude, being like, what's up, Air? And Ares being like,
all right, so falls through the floor. They go into the water in the grid, I guess, and he whips out the staff. We get an underwater snowmobile that takes them up, and now they're riding across the water. I thought this was actually pretty sick, but I
think the term you're looking for is jet ski.
But it was underwater, dude. That's why it's funny. It's a fucking snowmobile. It's got prongs. It's not a jet ski.
It does look like a snowmobile. I'll give you that.
The point of all of this was the music. This is the only time that I remember the music. I remember thinking like it took me out of it. The music is like, it's in me. It's in me. And I'm just thinking about, look at this fucking Daft Punk. The Daft Punk incorporation into Tron. So Steven in Tron Legacy in the swanky suite, kind of like a Jabba the Hutt palace.
Are they just like turning the turntables?
What's that actor's name, Sam, that plays the
Michael Sheen? I want to say. He's the real flamboyant David Bowie guy in this, but he plays the flamboyant vampire leader in Twilight. He's like playing got the same hair even.
Let me see if I can find a picture of him for you. But anyway, they're in his swanky little palace, and also I'm on someone's bootleg Tron Legacy Instagram.
I think they allude to the fact that he might be an ISO whenever they're like, oh, I knew Korra way back many cycles ago. And he's like, I had to reinvent myself. I'm like, I think this guy's an ISO. Yeah.
Check him out, Steven. He's throwing a party, and they just turn to the right. The window in the wall just opens, and Daft Punk's back there ripping it on the table. And they fit seamlessly into everything that's going on.
Well, Daft Punk, they were hired 2 years before the movie was even made. And at first, Disney just wanted them to make that song for the club scene. And Daft Punk was like, no, we want to make all of the music for this entire movie. So they spent 2 years of their life not making any records, just focusing on making this music for Tron. And then the movie was made around the music. Like the music came first. That's why it's very memorable in Legacy. But in this one, I think Nine Inch Nails did a really good job. I mean, there's a few songs that I really like. There's one called As Alive As You Need Me to Be. That was the one I was playing at the beginning whenever I came in here.
Steven seemed to recognize that.
That was a good one.
It's a good song.
That was like the main one. was like the
I'm pretty
main
sure it
song
got
of the movie.
yeah, it got nominated for an Emmy. So
It kind of just set the vibe for the whole movie. It was just kind of like like I don't know, like techno underworld kind of deal. But it reminded me of The Matrix, but it was a little bit more modern, even though Nine Inch Nails was probably around when The Matrix
see,
came out.
I would make the argument. The Matrix, for example, came first. Tron 82. I feel like Tron has a lot more blueprints. I think it's much more influential than people give it credit. You know, the original Tron, for example, it was going to win the Oscar for special effects, and the Academy said, no, that doesn't count. They believed that computers were cheating at the time.
That's
They thought,
bullshit.
you know, so they disqualified them.
I mean, I hear you. That's like not using AI now on your fucking test, but whatever.
Mhm.
Have you watched Ghost in the Shell?
I haven't seen it, but I
Is
know
that the
about
one
it.
with Scarlett? Is that the one with Scarlett Johansson?
Live action one, yeah.
Uh,
Speaking of anime, we get an Akira slide. You know, that famous bicycle slide where they like the motorcycle goes to the left, like
Yeah.
we get a little Akira slide. And one thing I'm noticing, because I know that you watched this in a different setting, if you go in the theater and you watch this movie like in IMAX with 3D glasses, it's one of the few movies I actually recommend because I think it
you put on the
elevates.
3D glasses.
Yeah, and you know whenever Ares is getting printed and all of them put on their glasses, that's when you put on your glasses. And then
No.
Legacy, whenever Sam Flynn gets sucked into the grid, that's whenever it turns to 3D, and you put on your glasses then too. So it's kind of like theme parkish. To quote Martin Scorsese, maybe this isn't cinema, maybe it's a roller coaster, but I love roller coasters. I had fun.
That's crazy that I was thinking Legacy was in 15, but for it to be that far back, like that, it
2010.
really was great. All the shit
And you
going
know what
on
else
with
I
it.
noticed about Legacy, which kind of blew my mind? I thought that it wasn't until James Gunn in Guardians of the Galaxy. That was the first time we see nanotech helmets. At least I thought. Well, whenever I was watching Legacy, I realized, oh shit, this is 2010, and they have the nanotech helmets and the nanotech suits that grow over you. But that's and it looks good. It holds up well, except for the de aging on Jeff Bridges. But besides that, it holds up.
So if we come back to Ares, the driving plot of the movie is the permanence code, right?
Yes.
Where like these two competing corporations, like one has like Greta Lee and the other has Evan Peters.
Yeah.
They're both trying to find like the code that brings things from the grid to real life. And Greta Lee finds it. So Greta Lee is able to like, oh, I figured it out. I figured out the permanence code. I feel like they did nothing with that. Like it's this machine that can bring anything into real life. And she's like, we want to work with farming. We want to do sustainable farms. And that's what we're going to do with our code. And it kind of just gets pushed to the side. It's like this incredibly enormous power that the movie's supposed to be striving after. And that kind of is like, it's forgotten about by the end.
Look, we got some clementines.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like,
well,
okay,
that's a
like I'm
callback
able to
to the
snap my
first one.
finger, but weren't you guys expecting the permanence code to bring some greater force to the movie than what it did? Which is, it didn't really bring anything to the movie.
Yeah.
Once it was figured out, it was kind of like a nuclear bomb that they ignored.
The bones of a really great movie are all over the place here. It's just the execution doesn't follow through on all of it.
I agree to an extent. But one thing about the whole clementines or the oranges is in the first Tron in 1982, that's how we're introduced to people getting sucked into the grid. Is they're like testing an orange, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm very surprised with all of the religious allegories. I'm really surprised they didn't make it an apple, but whatever. So we see an orange get like transported into the grid, and they're like transportation complete, blah blah blah, and then later on, Kevin Flynn gets sucked into the grid. But in this one, we have the grid producing oranges. So it's kind of an
But
inverse.
Sam, why is your defense of the sequel from 50 years later irrelevant? Why is this relevant at all? I didn't see Tron 1 and it came out almost 40 years ago.
Well, it's supposed
We
to
shouldn't
be
be
for
allowed
Tron.
to pull from another movie to defend the callback. I can't do it. I can't do it. Like,
think
oh,
keep
but what
saying-
about Tron 1 from when 50 years before we were all born? Like, what about that movie? I don't know.
Of course
I don't
they're
know,
doing
Sam.
sustainable farming. There was a clementine in the first movie.
Well, they also
It's like
talk about.
they had an
I don't think.
Sam,
That's
yeah. Speaking of deleting, how about how they changed the not nomenclature. They changed the references. Like they stopped using derezzing as much, and now people are getting deleted. And there was another one they used, and this one I had.
Gonna be my view for the. But
Dillinger told you to delete me?
But no, what I was gonna say about the clementines though is, I feel like y'all weren't paying attention because they talk about curing disease and making medicine and all this other stuff. That the oranges was just one facet of it.
Dude,
Just like how
well, none of that happened though. None of that happened though. They didn't cure any disease. They didn't.
At the end, they give us a little bullshit, like someone reads off a card. Oh, we also made a bunch of music. I mean, a bunch of medicine.
Well, like this is the same shit that Sam Altman does at the AI conference. It's like, yo, you never know. My program is going to solve cancer.
Every
like,
horror
just keep
story,
giving me billions of dollars.
Every horror story is also a discovery to farm some clementines for poor people.
Speaking of horror stories, what do you think of the Frankenstein allegories in this? I know Steven loves Frankenstein.
I didn't catch a lot of Frankenstein allegories, but
here, Jordan, check the pictures I sent you. There's a part where he zooms in on the book that she's reading. It says Frankenstein, and that's where he gets the quote, "I am fearless and therefore powerful." And that's kind of the motivation for him to be like, all right, I'm gonna disobey my programming.
Yeah. So we get this bitch reading Frankenstein, and he registers
this bitch. That's very nice of you to call her.
This lady, was she of any significance to the movie? I don't remember.
It was Greta Lee's sister.
She's the main character.
Bullshit.
It's either the main character or her dead sister.
What,
that looks like Greta Lee. That looks like Greta Lee in a flashback.
Yeah, no, it is her.
Subtitle: The Modern Prometheus by Mary Shelley.
That is what it's called. Yeah.
And then I'm fearless, Steven. Groundbreaking stuff.
Steven, I don't need to get on a Frankenstein tangent because that you'll have to sign me on for a whole nother podcast. That is one of my least favorite movies of the last 5 years.
Wait,
I've seen so many people like
that movie.
Why do you think yeah, it is.
It's on Netflix, but they released it in theaters on Halloween. So I went and saw it on Halloween.
Negative. Look, here's another cool ass part. Like I thought it was really great how. Well,
now in one of your 10 episodes that you saw, did they have of Tron Uprising? Did they have a scene where he gets the disc that makes him stronger, but also makes him like kind of a douchebag?
Yeah, I did notice. I wasn't able to pay full attention because I was trying to get through all these episodes. But I did. Now that you say that, I did notice like a change in his attitude, and I was like, "Did I miss something here? What's going on?"
Yeah, I feel it. I don't know if there's a complete connection there, but they talk about how this, ARES, he's not like a regular program in that he basically has super strength, right? Like that's why he's able to one-shot the tank, for example.
Yeah, he's biblical. All right, look at this motherfucker. So here's another point. They roll this tank out. They show this super soldier, and the first guy they shows, you didn't send me a picture of him, Sam, but they got this rich Saudi Arabian guy standing there is the first buyer. Like, oh, we got the Saudis in here to buy some weapons, and they pan to these dorks. Look at these dorks. Like, let's get some Joe Schmo white people in here. They'll buy some military units. But this is the bread and butter, dude. More tanks, more lights, more Jared Leto furiously fighting for 29 minutes. I don't think that's such a complex thing to ask for, especially for a movie that you're going to make all your money off of IMAX tickets. I don't need to watch you drive around your Honda Civic in IMAX.
Yeah, and when they had the chases with the bikes, that was so cool. And having the light beam divide up the city and how like, don't hit the light beam. Are they going to run into it? They split the cop car in half, and like halfway through the movie, that was really cool. But they really just kind of decided to go with like, is Jared Leto a real person? Does he have feelings? I guess that was the real Frankenstein allegories, but that's
He's
where
got a creator,
I was like,
and
yeah, that's where I was like, man, I don't. Okay, now it's kind of boring. And
yeah,
Jared Leto,
show me the lights.
We talk
all this. Honestly, Sam, this is Sam's fault. He went to see the theater 6 times. He's like, dude, y'all gotta go to the theater. I'm like, man, this must be action packed. There must be light bikes everywhere. And then just like, nope. It's like the Expendables. Like, why are we doing dialogue here? Let's blow some shit up and de-res some people and flash neon all over the place. The first bike chase, they're leaving these huge streaks all across
I
the
want to point
interstate,
out.
and the cops take like 20 minutes to respond. This is actually another cool part. They show up. Actually, they did take 29 minutes because as they show up, Athena fucking just falls to pieces because she ran out of time. What's the villain's name? The young dude?
Dillinger, Edward Dillinger Jr.
I was into his character. This dude's
I don't think
ruthless.
it's.
I don't give a
it's right.
fuck. Like,
Julian Dillinger.
You don't know.
Julian,
He's like,
yeah.
Dude,
all will be forgiven once we cure all these diseases and give all the military. And he fucking shoots that motherfucker in front of the cops, shoots the Asian girl, and sucks her ass into the grid. That was badass. We need more of that.
Yeah, we needed less of Jared Leto. Like, we talked about Jared Leto method acting.
Jared Leto.
He's been method acting the same character for like 8 years.
I was gonna say Jared
He
Leto.
badly wanted to be that hippie at the end who's riding around at all the hostels. I hear you, man. I love to do that. That shit's fun. They're just showing town square. He's like, I've learned that the
Yeah.
world is very different. He just wanted to be that guy the whole movie. But we want to see you drive tanks, dude.
Yeah. And like, he did this in Mr. Nobody. He did this in Blade Runner, the better version of this movie. Like,
Yeah.
now we're running back his same character for a third sci-fi dystopia movie. He's done this 3 different times. He's gotten a massive check to do the same movie 3 different times. And it's like, I don't know why they.
It gets
Wh-
better than that. He was paying for this one. He's the executive producer. He cast
Oh.
himself essentially.
All right, well,
you know what? That
this is-
actually makes more sense now.
This is a Jared Leto passion.
and that's a good segue into the fact that this movie cost $180 million and as of now has made 136. So
That's better than I thought.
how
I thought it
long-
would have been under 100.
how long has it been since this came out? They can't be making much more from this,
I think
right?
it came
This
out.
will not break even.
Yeah.
It came out exactly a month ago.
Okay.
This will not break even. This will
No,
this
this
will
probably
only
will
break
not make a
even if
profit.
Disney lies,
I
which
don't
they
think
will
a
probably
single-
lie. But
I don't think a
they
single
what?
Tron movie has ever broken even though. I don't
Oh.
think a single
I
Tron
s-
movie has. It's
then
a
why
very
do they make these? There's
it's not blockbuster material. I don't know why they keep trying to make it blockbuster. It's niche. It's always going to be niche. But I am in that category of people in the niche bill that enjoy this kind of thing. The visuals, the digital world, I really fuck with it. Like just as an aesthetic and as a vibe.
Again, the bones are there, but in none of these, we said some good things about Legacy, but like in none of these have they really executed on the project. Even the Disney series, which I think we
Speaking
probably
of,
would say is the best one, it got
Yes, I
canceled
would
after
agree.
one season.
Well, you want to know why? It's because they bought Star Wars. They were like, "Oh, we don't need to try on this anymore.
Fair.
We can just buy Star Wars." That's what happened. Is like the original Tron came out, and they were like, "This is our answer to Star Wars," and the public was like, "No, it's not." And then whenever they bought Star Wars, they were like, "Okay, abandon ship. We're not dealing with Tron anymore." But Tron, the thing that I think is cool about it with the Legacy is, Daft Punk like basically created a new genre of music whenever they made the soundtrack for that. But also, that was Joseph Kosinski's first directorial debut. Mr. Top Gun Maverick, Mr. F1. That was his first movie, is Tron Legacy.
Tron 82, $17 million budget, $50 million worldwide. Tron Legacy, $170 million budget, $410 million worldwide. That's getting cut.
The scores on Letterboxd for Tron 1 is 3.1, Tron Legacy is 3.3, Tron ARES is 2.7. So we're going in the wrong direction.
Steven, I
on,
want to call Steven outright real quick because I noticed I was like, Steven gave it 3 stars, and then Steven immediately went to Letterboxd and lowered it to 2.5. And I was like, this is literally just like
This is what Sam spends his time on, man. Shit like that.
No, I do that.
Stalking
I do
you on
that all the
Letterboxd.
time. I do that all the time on Letterboxd. I'll rate a movie
Steven,
instantly, and then
I've
I'll
noticed
come
that,
back a day later and be like, "Is this better or worse?" And usually it's worse.
I've noticed that
But-
majority of your movies are low rated. I'm like, does this guy even like movies? What's he doing?
Well, It's been a string of like movies I haven't been very satisfied with for an entire year. It's not been a movie year that I've been happy with.
Yeah, I've
It's been a
noticed
lot of
that, and I'm
twos, a
like
lot of 2.5s, a lot
I'm
of
like,
twos
why
and
did
2.5s.
I'm like, "Why are you doing this to yourself? Just stop."
No, but I did give Weapons a 5.
That is true.
That's still far and away my number one.
Not looking
But
at the list of movies that we've done right now, off the top of my head, I would have to agree with you. Weapons was awesome.
yeah,
I liked Weapons, but it didn't resonate with me the same for some reason, but I liked it a
We're
lot.
definitely all right.
Hassan
So
Minaj.
Evan Peters, the kick-ass guy playing Julian Dillinger. I liked him. I liked the beef with him and his mom throughout the
Mhm.
movie,
Jillian Jacobs, X-Files girl, X-Files lady.
and I liked that he got her killed. I thought that was fantastic.
Well, we see she's supposed to be the eldest daughter of the dude from the
Yeah,
first Tron, so I'm gonna assume that for some reason Julian grew up in America, I guess, because he's not British. She's British, his grandpa's British, and we
get
even see
nodded.
his uncle. His uncle's played by Cillian Murphy in the
Get
first and Legacy, and he's British.
get fucking nodded.
The
I
Michael
actually
Caine movie.
love that they didn't make Evan Peters try a British accent. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, I didn't notice
When
it, but it is like I'm like, oh, I wonder where he grew up.
actually
You know what I mean?
Look, no one's brought up Hassan Minhaj yet.
I did. But very briefly, he's I don't know how he gets cast in this stuff.
How? Yeah, I think he's hilarious.
I mean, he's funny. I watch his YouTube show every week. He has like this really big interview show on YouTube, and I'm like, how is he able to parlay that, like interviewing politicians and reporters on YouTube to getting like casting in Hollywood blockbusters? I don't.
Is that the only?
Whatever
Is
his
that check him out? Check him out. Who was he? Like, I was confused about his character.
He is Greta Lee's chief technical officer, so he's the top coder
Yeah,
at the firm.
but he's the guy
Yeah,
out
he's like the
there.
firm's best coder.
He's giving the pitch. Oh, the firm's best coder has got to be Indian. All right,
Yeah.
and the and they give him. Yeah, he's giving the big speech and shit gets fucked up on his watch. Usually that guy is one of the villains though that gets embarrassed like that, but he wasn't. So that was an interesting way they chose to go about that.
They really let him come in and cook at the office when they all went to the high rise for the final 30
What
minutes.
kind of curry do you
He
think
was
you're
just
eating?
sitting there, just going in.
I wrote this down. Best soldier ever, and she just runs up the circular ramp in the first bike chase. Athena is just
No, that
running,
shit was
just
funny.
running circles up the ramp. She doesn't have she can't grappling hook or something. Like she doesn't have any other plan. She's gonna run for 4 minutes in a circle. Come on.
Yeah, when you're on a 29-minute timer, you're like, well, my bike broke. I guess I just need to go on foot.
Why did
Oh,
ARES
that's what it was
have
called.
a Rubik's?
Oh, yeah, he was learning about culture from Jeff. Yeah, it's like there's no way. What do you think in 2010 when they describe the 2010s? What's like a one object that is going to describe the 2010s, like a Rubik's Cube does for the 80s? Like one of those over-ear Bluetooth headsets, like just one where you could like tap in.
What about when Jared Leto is deciding not to get shot with the laser, and they end up shooting? He's running away to fight Athena, and
None of that made any sense to me. That's
he's trying to do some like good deed, right, by protecting her from Athena. And I thought that was cool that they just took it out of his hands and they shot him with the laser anyway. But it's like, I'm so tough. I can run through glass. He runs through like 3 office windows. Like, you don't need to be a super soldier to break some glass. But that's how they're showing how strong he is. And I just thought that was hilarious.
I also thought like that entire exchange didn't make any sense to me. It's
It
like
didn't make sense to me.
like Athena was coming up, like she's in the window, and I'm like, they're about to get blown up, but then he's about to disappear anyway. And then he just times up, and then like nothing happens. Why doesn't Athena still like blow up like she's 3 minutes behind him?
Yeah.
Like, why doesn't she just wait for him to time out? And then like,
Which is what they said she was doing.
the little gang was still there. They're still like supervising him while he's like in the little machine.
But
But
don't
then, like,
but
nothing happens. Nothing happened.
don't worry about that because the Big Lebowski's here.
Yeah. And it's like Matrix robes. Well, like he's like in the Elder Council.
What do you call the ship?
Is he just always there?
She comes in with the recognizer, and I was actually pissed. I was like, they better scramble some fucking jets. There better be some fighter pilots. If there was we got to get to what city this was set in. Like I saw, it was supposed to be like,
Is it Vancouver?
I don't think it was, that's where they shot a lot of the stuff, but I don't think it was supposed to be in Vancouver. It was just supposed to be non-determined. But if this
Yeah.
big ass ship is flying over your city, the military is immediately sending jets. They did something really cool where they're trying to show the power of the recognizer. We get this cool ass missile from the recognizer that destroys the jet, but then the jet crashes into the ship and causes a bunch of damage itself. I thought that was a sweet little twist. And somehow she rolls out of the foot of the thing in the tank. All right. What about the cutscene at the end?
How did it end? I forget how it ended.
There's going to be another one, Steven. No one likes him, but there's going to be another one.
There probably will be in 10 years. Wait, I don't is Evan Peters stuck inside or is he on the outside? I did like that they made the new discs a triangle. It made them a little more scary to actually throw. Do we need to give a judgment? Do we all need to give this a score from 1 to 5, from 1 to 10?
Let's put my review in on Letterboxd. 2 stars.
2 stars?
Yeah. Yes.
I did.
Like I'm glad that we did this pod. I learned a bunch of cool shit watching the old ones. And parts of this were good, but this just felt like, you know what's I got a crazy analogy for you here. The Sonic movie with Jim Carrey, like the second one. You got $20 million actor in here, Jim Carrey, and you got these really cool hedgehog animated characters with all these powers. And they spend half the movie on this. This was like at the peak of cast interracial couples. This white guy and this black lady who would never be together. And are the least interesting characters of all time. They spend half the movie on these people instead of Jim Carrey and Sonic. And that was what I kept feeling like today. Stop. Show me the cool shit. I don't care about this other stuff.
No, that's how I felt too. Once it got away from the cool action scenes, it took a pretty hard nosedive.
You don't.
And then it never really went back to the cool action scenes.
Also, you don't need to see Sonic.
Ah, shit, that's good.